Hey there, my name is Sandy and I'm here tonight to show you how to make a hopefully a easy card. I'll show you the card. It's all of the products and stamps, the supplies that I'm using. Tools are from Stampin' Up. I'm a demonstrator. If you want any of the products, you can check out my website, which I'll try to include in the comments section or the description of the video. So here it is. So cute. It's DSP paper in the background here with the birds. And then a stamped bird, which I've used alcohol inks to color. And then an easy sentiment on the front. And then I just used a cardstock and white cardstock on top of the inside with some with a stamped sentiment and some other easy stamping. And that's all there was to it. So I'll try to go through with you what I did. The stamp comes from this stamp set called Inspirational Sketches. And from this stamp set, I used the bird and this little blotchy looking stamp. Thank you for everything and grateful for you. But there's also other stamps on there. So I used that. And they are cling stamped, which means they're the rubber stamps, which they come out really nice when you stamp them. The photopolymers are good too, but that's not what these are. So they're beautiful stamps. I really like them. So I started off with a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and then I used this Simply Scored tool. Use this scoring tool that's on the end of it. If you can see, it goes right here. And then I scored it at 5.5. Then you just draw a line across there. If it's thick paper, which like this is, I usually go over it twice. Put that away. And I use that a lot when I'm making Christmas cards or anytime I'm doing anything like in bulk. That really comes in handy. And then I use the paper trimmer. And then see how we scored it here. Then I'm lining it up on the 8.5 side at 4.25 because that's the halfway mark. Since the paper is 8.5 inches wide, and then just cut it. So then you have two pieces of cardstock, and then I just took, where did it go? This tool, and folded it inward and then burnished it. Fold it over, and now I've got enough to make 2 cards. I'm only going to use one. So I think that covers that step. Then I have some of this bird paper left, and this what's inside this packet of paper. It's called Flight and Airy. It's 12 by 12 designer series paper, and it is so adorable. You can see that's the one I have, and on the back side it's like a brownish colored paper that coordinates with all of these papers. Coordinate. Look at that one. On the back side there's some green. Same thing there. Now here's another one. They're just also spring-like and beautiful. Here's another new one. I just love the birds. You see that one's more flowery on the back side here. And here's another one. This one's got some purple on the back. And a larger bird, which if you have a Brother Scan and Cut machine, I think those will cut out good on there. And then some people use their scan and cut machines to scan this paper in, and then if it's closed incorrectly, I mean, if this is like, if this image is scanned so that it can see the whole outline, then it will cut out beautifully on the scan and cut. And I have seen people do that. So the paper is just gorgeous. So then the next step would be to make your card. And like I said, this is cardstock, and I folded it. So then you've got your front and the inside. And you can do it landscape or portrait. And I decided, like with this card, to do a portrait. So then the next step would be to cut out a piece of paper that's 4 by 5 1/4, because the cardstock is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So you just cut it 1/4 inch smaller, which I already did, so I won't take the time to do that right now. And then you'll just use their Stampin' Seal to adhere that to the front. I'm standing up trying to do this, and it's cool because I see it's, you know, this card on its own would be pretty with just a sentiment, but I wanted to show you more. On the inside, it's also 4 1/4 by 5, but I don't want to stick that down yet because I want to adhere the sentiment for the inside. So what I did here is I took this stamp, if you remember that from the ones I showed you, which I can show you again. It's this one here. And you just stamp it there. And I did it different colors on the other one, but I think I'm just going to do the blue. Move this into this field a little more so you can see it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. And then I'm done with that ink. And this one was the boho blue, and so was this cardstock, boho blue. And I can tell you that on the back of the cardstock, I'm sorry, the DSP paper, the bird paper, up here in this section, it shows all of the colors that coordinate with this paper. So in this case it's boho blue, bubble bath, calypso coral, crumb cake, daffodil delight, flirty flamingo, fresh freesia, and it goes on and on. There's several colors that are in this design. Those are all colors that Stampin' Up sells. Okay, so then the next one is the inside sentiment, grateful for you. Let me just make sure I've got that correctly positioned. Find my ink pad, which I'm using Pecan Pie. And just get that inked up. There's that. So we're done with that step. Now I can put that, let that dry a little bit. And now I will put the Stampin' Seal on the back. Or you can use glue. Got that too. Make sure I got it in the right direction still. I think I kind of like it with the one color versus 2 colors. I think I like that better, but they both look good. And then the next step is that you just cut out some white cardstock and you stamp it with the bird. So here's the cardstock, here's the bird, and that's from this stamp set still. I'm using here Memento. Hopefully I'll get it right. Yep, that looks pretty good to me. And then we can use alcohol markers to color it in. I've got the coordinating colors that I mentioned to you that are in the paper, like I showed you. I won't bring that out again. And the first time I created this card, when I used these markers, I used a lot of blue and yellow, orange and pink. But I think this time, I'm just going to try doing the lighter yellow. I just want to see how this looks. So this is Daffodil Delight. One side of this alcohol marker is like the brush wand, and the other side is a finer tip. See how you can see that on the outside. And let's just see how this looks. And actually, I couldn't even tell you the colors I used to color that other bird in the other card, because I was just playing around. And that's very pretty. I think I want it to be a little brighter, but I'm trying to make it kind of go with this card, the DSP. So, and maybe some blue. They got yellow on the chest over here, but it doesn't have to be the same. Maybe I'll do pink or blue. Blue on the bottom. Let's see, here's the finer tip and here's the brush tip. There's that. And then maybe the darker. Well, let's see here. This can be whatever we want. That kind of looks like flamingo color. Doesn't really look to me like... Well, it does say flirty flamingo. It looks more peachy than I thought it would. And I think I want to tone that down a little bit. That makes it look more purple. So now I think I just want to color that branch and his feet. This can be whatever you want. And see how different the birds are. You know, here they had the more colorful one. This one is more subdued. So I will finish that after I do the last step, which is the, well, second to last step. It's the sentiment. So I want to show you, to do this sentiment, I take just a little white piece of paper, and the last stamp, which is the thank you for everything. and I'm going to be using Misty Moonlight. Now, I'm doing one card at a time, so if you wanted to make a bunch of thank you cards, you could. So here is a thank you for everything. Gonna stamp that. If it turns out I smudged on this thing, I can always try again on the other side. But that looks okay to me. And next, I will cut this out. Let me move everything out of the way because I've got to get this is the cut and die, the die cut machine. And now I could use this on here. This is the die. And what I will do is place it between the plates. I'm going to move this back in here. And I just put a little piece of tape in after I get it centered. And I line the number 2 plates on top of the number 1. And just line it up and run it through. Move that out of the way. Move these plates out of the way. Now, what I did on the other card was I wanted to make sure that this just looks weird having white on white. So what I did was I used this little blender brush and I took the pecan pie and I went around the outside of that. I could do that with the pecan pie and the blue. Just see how that looks to make it a little bit different. So I'm going to move this ink over. This can be, like I said, it's whatever you want it to be. The nice thing is that the book, which I'll try to remember to show you at the end, it gives you ideas for coordinating colors. So I'm using 2 colors for this blending. Which I'll tell you in a minute. Pecan pie, I believe. So this, to me, looks good enough. This blue is the boho blue and the pecan pie. So we're done with the colors. Then what I'll do is I'll put little dimensionals on the back of the sentiment. And just before we're ready to apply it, I'll pull off the back cover and mount that. But before I do that, a lot of times these stamp sets will come with dies. Like, here's a whole die set that came with the Thoughtful Expressions bird. It's like a bird and flowery type set. They come with dies. This set is just stamps. So, I mean, if you have the dies, then you got to get the die cut machine to cut out the dies. Well, not everybody wants to go that far into card making, getting the die cut machine and the dies and everything. So you can do fancy cutting with just this regular well, they have a really nice sharp paper scissors in the catalog, which I love. It's, you know, I've crafted my whole life, and paper crafted for a very long time. And these are the ones I always grab for because they're the sharpest and they're the most precise. Sorry. And so I just leave a little white edge around the outside. And if you have a scan and cut, you probably could do this cutting on there. But I'm just making one card right now, so I'm just doing it. Now, on this card, I took the time to cut in between the legs. And I just want to see what it looks like if I don't do that. I don't know that it makes a big difference. So I think I'm just going to see what it looks like without doing that for time's sake, because I want to take a little bit of time to show you where this stuff is in the book in case you want to get something. And this paper is I'm taking the backs off of the dimensionals, because I usually like to in this case I have to kind of see where I want the bird to line up on this DSP. I mean, really, this paper is so pretty, I probably could just mount this here and be done. But since I colored the bird, I'm going to go ahead and mount him. And if I don't like how this bird looks with the white not cut out between the branches, I can always use my little trimmer later. I have like a single blade trimmer. So now we just try and figure out, like, where does this go? Where will it look best? And if you have to cover up some of the birds, you can do that, which I think I'll put this bird here. And then I want to show this part of the paper because the bird is so pretty. The birds are so pretty. So I think I'll leave that. And then I did have an extra I have a little extra piece of the a die cut from, let's see, I think it was from this set. Yes, from Thoughtful Expressions. So I think I'll just use that here somewhere. Let's see, where do I want to put this? This is half the battle of card making. Like, where do you want to put your... I don't know if I like it there. I think I like it better up here. That looks better to me. My fingers have got glue on them. So this is the card. Thank you for everything. Grateful for you. Now we have our 2 cards. So it was made by using the Inspirational Sketches cling stamps, the alcohol markers. I used the paper snips, a Stampin' Seal, white cardstock, boho blue, and Misty Moonlight, Pecan Pie, boho blue. And I used this die came from the Thoughtful Expression dies set. But if you wanted to, you could just cut a square if you don't want to use a die. But I bought this set together. And I love the hummingbirds. I hope to color stamp the hummingbird and cut that out and make another card. I used Memento ink, a little bit of glue. I think that was it. So it comes from, let's see, in the Celebration catalog, which goes to the 29th of February, If you spend $50, you can look to see, if it was the last time I looked, if this Flight and Airy paper with the birds is still available. So that is really, really cute. And then the mini catalog goes from January to April of this year. And that's where you can find on page 65, or if you go to the website, the Inspirational Sketches. And then on page 61 is there's a suite for the beautiful poetic expressions or thoughtful expressions, is the set that has the stamps and the dies. But you can also get the paper in the suite if you like. And then the annual catalog, I have that too. I think I have a few of those left. But you can go to the website and look for these things. You don't absolutely need a catalog. And my website should be in the comments of the Facebook post or on the YouTube channel down in the description. So I hope you enjoyed this short little video on how to make these cards. Tell me what you think, and please subscribe and like, because in this channel I like to do card making and machine embroidery and sewing. So I just started that part of my channel. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.